Okay, so today we are looking at your CSQ1 for your International Trade and Globalization tutorial. So I'm going to start you off by looking at the the higher order questions as usual. So we look at the Denmark question. So Denmark question here asking you to asking you here to actually assess likely impacts of an increase in tax rebates given to Chinese aluminium producers on consumers, employees, and producers in other countries like India. So your case study gave you a perspective of China as well as perspective of India. All right, so the question here requires you to look at what would happen to consumer, employees, and producers in India when tax rebates, okay, when there's an increase in tax rebates given to your Chinese aluminium producer. All right, so you need to look at the effect of increase in tax rebates, right, on the economic agents of another country in India. All right, so these economic agents here we are concerned about, we are looking at your consumers, employees, as well as your producers. Okay, so please be very careful. Do not just look at this as a question specifically on China, because this question is asking you not just about China, asking you about what happens when there's increase in tax rebate in China, all right, on your aluminium producers. How will this impact the consumers, employees, and producers of India? Okay, so when we ask you impacts, okay, on the various economic agents, I think if you go back to your earlier concepts, earlier theories, and stuff like that, earlier things that you actually learned earlier, you know that consumers, they are concerned about the following areas. Okay, the price, the quantity, consumer surplus, whether there's choice, variety. All right, when we look at employee, okay, employee, if you are working, you definitely concerned about your wages, your income. At producers, okay, we assume profit maximization as the traditional objective. Then you will be concerned about your profits, your total revenue, your total cost. All right. So down here, likely impacts here, you can divide it into positive as well as your negative impacts, which is what we have done here. All right. And you have to go and consider, all right, how increase in tax rebates to Chinese aluminum producers, how it will impact the consumers in India. All right, in terms of prices, okay, in what context will there be higher, will there be lower prices? What context will there be lower, higher cost of production? All right, impact on Indian producers, how will it impact? All right, and then the various employees. So this is quite straightforward question. So I'll leave it to you to go and look through your extracts. You can find some information from there and address them accordingly. All right, so this is your first higher order question. Second higher order question. All right, right now, instead of right now we turn our attention towards Vietnam, India, and China. So same context here about the Chinese aluminium production. All right, how Vietnam and India, how they face different issues, okay, due to Chinese aluminium production. So right now we want to look at whether increasing import tariffs on aluminium in India will it address the problems faced, the issues faced by India and Vietnam respectively. So right now, okay, again, the impact of increasing import tariffs from India, how does this actually affect Vietnam? How does it affect India? So Vietnam, if you go back to your extract talks about how Vietnam and this bauxite, okay, this bauxite. All right, so Vietnam is impacted by your bauxite, so that one you can look at it. Okay, for India, Chinese aluminum production affects their unemployment. So you want to talk about whether these tariffs here, are they able to address these problems of unemployment as well as negative externality, all right, in India and Vietnam respectively. Okay, so both questions very straightforward. If you are actually able to break your extracts down, understand what is asked, you should have no problems. If you have any questions, do let me know. All right, please try your best to attempt the questions before class. If not, that's the end of this video.